Well, I suppose when World Travel Market opened its doors 30 years ago, we couldn't have predicted the sweeping changes that have developed in the industry. When World Travel Market opened, we had 350 exhibitors, and now we have over 5,000 and 50,000 people that come from 200 countries from around the world.
I think 30 years ago, people were getting into the mass market, and they were really getting into charter flights going to Mediterranean, and they were quite happy to stay for a couple of weeks roasting on a sunbed for a while.
Those early packages, it was a bit like Henry Ford, that rather than say you can have every car you want as long as it's black, you can have every holiday you want as long as it's a 7 or 14 night holiday.
And that world of the late 70s and early 80s in travel was actually the beginnings of what we have today. Everything that you see today was in its infancy then. We had the first low-cost airlines like Laker Airways. We had paper systems for everything. When you went to book a holiday, you went to see your travel agent. And ironically, of course, a lot of things about that world are things that we're worried about at the moment in the industry.
There's a whole range of challenges facing the industry right now, starting from the economic crisis, the volatility of currency and the oil price.
It's been through virtually the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, this industry, and it gets hit every time worse than most. But here it is, 30 years on, and it's bigger than it was. It's definitely better than it was.
Our tourists are by far much more educated now, they're by far much more demanding, and they cannot be dealt with the same way we have been dealing with them in the last 30 years.
Now you can access information online within seconds. We've had the growth of the low-cost airlines, which has opened up travel for all, and that's had a significant impact on the growth and development of the industry.
Now people are looking for experiences, they're looking for individualized products and services, and that's why we're seeing people going towards value for money and value for time.
The quality of hotel properties around the world has improved enormously at every level in the market. The ease with which customers can get access to holidays.
Today we have over a third of our customers with us booking online. If we go back 6 or 7 years ago, it was 0.
I believe we have passed the stage of the need to establish the growth and the advancement of this industry into how to manage that growth and how to direct it into what World Travel Market calls responsible tourism.
Environmental concern is real these days, and you cannot deal with it by tokenism. You can't deal with it by saying we're going to go and buy you some trees somewhere. I think you have to deal with it by making properties more efficient. You have to deal with it by making airlines more efficient.
One of the key ways of reducing carbon emissions is to have the latest generation of aircraft, very modern aircraft.
Hotels are going to have to become solar-powered, wind-powered, wave-powered, waste-powered, whatever it is. And they're also going to have to be much more efficient as structures in the future, because they're going to have to learn to live with expensive oil, but there's still a public that demands better, cheaper ecotourism.
The travel and tourism industry has advanced by far much more than people were able to come to grips with. And that's why we need to now take stock of all of that and look into the future.
The biggest change that we will see will be the emergence of huge growth from countries like Russia, India and China, where the growth of an emerging middle class who then want to travel will mean those markets will become bigger.
30 years ago, people wouldn't have been visiting Cambodia or Vietnam. So why shouldn't we be visiting Afghanistan, Iran and Iraq?
I think the future belongs to creativity, innovation, individualization, and looking forward to great experiences empowered by the tourism industry.
We're at the phase now of taking our first space tourists into space. They're going to see the planet Earth, they're going to experience weightlessness, and it's helping us to develop a system for industrial and scientific use. If we can find ways to get into space environmentally benignly, and we can use the edge of space to travel around the planet without having any impact on the atmosphere at all.
Travel has become part of a human right, just like the right to breathe, the right to speak, the right to think. So I am looking at the World Travel Market being a marketplace where people would come do business and at the same time renew their commitment to their agenda of sustainability and responsibility towards all aspects of human life.
We as an industry have to take responsibility for protecting the very product we seek to promote. That is a responsibility of the industry. It's about the future of generations to come.
This is the opportunity to really sit and think about the future of this industry. And I think generally it could have quite a bright future.
Very soon, There will not be a single human being in this universe that would not cross international borders and travel as a tourist, as a businessman, for any purpose of travel. This tremendous power of people moving all over the globe is what is going to shape our industry and will impact our world.